What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of what was formerly known as East Meets West. As you can see, again, tongue twister. So the new official name, we we talked about it last week. We didn't really have a name yet, but new name. C Blocks Drop, officially going to be the new name of the show. It was once a segment, has moved all the way up to the actual official name of the show. Yeah, C Blocks Drop. We're going places.
Yeah,
I like it. I thought it was a strong segment name.
maybe new name, new viewers.
Yeah, I think the last time we seen a name change like this, Joe's Gymnasium, they're currently 5-1, so
Leading the league
They're
in
on
points,
top.
yeah.
Maybe we will
soon be
rise
on
to the
top,
top.
yeah.
Number
Look
one
out,
on
Mouthy
the-
Berry, here we come.
Yeah, bro.
Good week. Week 6 is in the books.
It was a very exciting week. A lot of points scored.
I won. You win?
I did win this one.
So you go to 4-2.
Almost
I'm
had
at
a
5-1.
week.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I know. Did you win?
How'd you do?
Who'd you play? Alright, so you had Matt. Matt scored 110 and a half to your 91.94.
Yeah, wasn't good.
Slow
Not a
week
good
for the sanitation.
I
Was there a
just-
holiday last week?
I thought so. I thought so.
I just can't believe that,
Go ahead, say it.
all the power ranking shame. How is both sides of the bun above Atlantic Sanitation? They just
All
came
based
off a
off
95
record.
point.
I mean, it was egregious. But,
So now you're at 91 points last week.
I will not say anything during the power rankings this week.
Is that officially 0 and 6?
Yes.
0-6.
Yeah, 0-6.
I gotta
So
say-
5 or 6, yeah. I just don't know. I don't know what it is.
I'll have to look back on it, but I'm pretty sure. Did we have Steve 12 last week?
I believe so.
I think we did. I think that was the only person I got wrong as far as a matchup. I think everyone else, the winner, I had ranked above in the power rankings.
Steve had a solid week. It's about time.
He did have a good week, so
Took him 6 weeks, but he's finally
Go,
coming
Steve!
along.
yeah, great. Pretty exciting stuff this week. I know we're coming at you on a Friday. It's a bit of a weird schedule for us this week, so Thursday night has already happened. But some pretty exciting things to talk about. We're going to get into the news segment around the league. Going to get into some fab pickups.
And next week we'll give you the new name of this segment that is no longer C Blocks Drops.
Yes.
Just
we
the
still have to
news.
come up with that.
Just league news.
Comment below if you want to have any input on it. All of the comments last week, we took all of those in. We brought them into consideration, and that's how we got C Blocks Drop. So
I didn't know that.
we are a man of the people.
I actually, I'll be honest, I'd have to look, but I don't think we got any comments.
Ever?
Not on that video.
We are up to 30 subscribers.
We are. That was actually
what?
last week. Yeah.
Where the hell was I?
Yes. Sound the alarms. 30
Whose spouse signed up?
I don't know.
That's it's. You can only see it if they have their subscriber list public. And
Okay.
whoever that mystery person is, we appreciate it.
Reach out to us. We got something special coming your way.
Drop a comment if you have a name
Yeah.
for the segment.
A signed Ben Simmons Mr. Softy t-shirt, courtesy of Foster Philly Art. Check out his Etsy at fosterartphilly@etsy.com.
Link below. Foster, if you were the one to sign up, I do need you to, or subscribe. You need to provide yourself.
I will bet
Yeah.
money it wasn't him.
Foster, drop the link in the comment section.
Yeah. Free ads.
If you have any names.
And anyone else who wants to advertise their business.
Hashtag
feel
we
free.
need sponsors.
Anybody at all.
Anything. You
Listen,
wanna-
weed killer, we'll do it. We'll do it.
Yeah.
Tiger Grill. I mean, anybody who wants to show up.
Yeah, we need a few.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Literally anything to advertise. Yeah, no matter what it is. But cool, yeah, let's figure we jump right into the news section. Nothing like too crazy, except a trade did go down yesterday. I'm going to reserve my opinion because it was my trade. But I sent James Conner and Allen Robinson to Jose's Hooligans for Calvin Ridley. Jose's Hooligans, for those at home, 1-5. Bit of a struggle this season, a lot of injuries.
He's a real hooligan.
So trying to fill in the lineup.
Points right now, so he's behind in points, in the record. He's in a very rough spot.
I think it just proves that, don't draft a guy injured in the first round going into the year, and then don't front load your team with a bunch of
Saquon
players
Barkley,
on the same team.
I was about to say, we're just on draft the whole
He drafted
same team.
every Seahawk.
And this is what we talked about. This is not the trade, but we talked about that on the show quite a bit. Like, if Russ were to go down, it also impacts Tyler Lockett. If Lockett goes down, it also impacts Russ. So you're really limiting your ceiling. And
then, of course,
Chris Carson.
Yeah, your run
as
game
well,
affects your pass game, and he hasn't even had the chance to really affect the pass game at all because he's been out.
Unfortunate circumstance, but I'll start with the West Stoner. What do you think of the trade?
I think it was a good trade for you. It's fair. It's a fair trade. I understand why Jose made it. I don't think I would have taken Allen Robinson under any circumstances.
I don't think Jose's in a position to say he can't take
Yeah, I mean that's a possibility, but I mean we can
this
ask the guy, would you have given him a different receiver had he pushed hard against Allen Robinson?
Yeah, we could have certainly talked about. I think the best matchup from a receiver on my team this week though was Allen Robinson.
So I had another guy ask me at work about that in his league. He got offered Myles Gaskin for Allen Robinson. I said, if you have running back depth and all that, he usually elevates his quarterbacks, Allen Robinson. If you've seen throughout his career playing, Jacksonville.
His best quarterback's been Bortles.
Yeah, exactly. My point. So he usually elevates that play. You gotta hope that even if he has 3 good games this year, they're going to be on this part of the schedule. And you figure if he starts clicking with Fields, that he's still talented enough.
Yeah, the talent's not in question. It's just
it's
the
not
situation.
Him.
No, it's not. It's absolutely not.
It's not me. It's you.
They
no, it's Matt Nagy.
Well,
Let's be honest, it's Matt Nagy.
They throw the ball I believe least or second least amount of times per game. He has 28% of the target share, so he's getting the target still. He's just when you only throw the ball 20 times, 28%.
That equals wide receiver. What is he? 51, 61 right now in our league. Something like that.
But they're playing the Bucs this week. You can't really run against the Bucs. Everyone knows that. They're gonna have to air it out.
Should be behind.
Fields is averaging the second highest depth of target on the year, behind only. Give me a second. Lamar Jackson. Yes, he is.
But it seems like he has been favoring
Mooney.
Yeah.
And especially.
Yeah, I think they've been connected on the deep ball a little bit more. But you can only imagine. Like I honestly wouldn't have minded keeping Allen Robinson and.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you figure if he hits on 3 or 4 games this year, it's all on the back end. It's all coming up. He hasn't hit on anything yet. And then you got to think that's eventually going to happen. He's eventually going to give you a couple.
Pretty much, you're hoping on Justin Fields.
And then it comes down to the situation. Jose got the running back.
Has to win this week, Jose.
Got a running back, and then got upside on a wide receiver.
I mean, he's in the same situation. I guess Steve finds himself in the East. It's must win. Every game for him is a must win.
The difference here.
Not that they're all not, but.
And I talked to both of them this week about trades, and I tried to say that to them. Like, you're in a position where you can't be like, well, I want to keep Saquon Barkley, for example. Well, you can't. Like, you can't wait on him. If you lose this week and go to 1-6, that's
your season.
That's pretty much it, dude. Like, it don't matter what they do after that. Like, you're just hoarding.
But overall, just to sum it up, I think it was a good trade. It's a fair trade, good trade. Jose needed depth. His whole team is hurt, so he needed to do it.
Yeah.
And you got the best player.
You
needed a wide receiver too.
Exactly.
So.
Jose and I said that right off the bat. He's like, look, you're getting the better value. I'm getting what I need. Like, it unfortunately came to this for him with Ridley, but like that's what he had to do. He knew it. And honestly, if he wins this week, and if you were to lose, he's only He's 2 games back, and he's still playing.
Let's be real.
Yeah,
my team is on bye this week. There's a really
left.
strong chance that I could lose.
Also, James Conner, lost in the trade, has Houston this week. You can only imagine he's going to get more tick than.
And the guy don't have a running back.
Than Edmonds.
He doesn't. He still needs another one.
Yeah.
All zeros. It's he's in a fucking
Connor has been performing pretty well. He's like the running back 19.
He
maximized
what he was going to get back in his situation because again I'm not the only one looking at it this way. Like look where you're at.
Jose is stubborn, not stupid.
I'm not giving you this regardless of what I'm getting back.
The one thing I've liked about the trade, I know we talked last week about a trade that almost went through, was this one. Jose, as tough as it is to be in that spot and acknowledge it, Jose acknowledged it and was like, hey, here's what I need to do to move forward and win. I'm not putting all my eggs in a basket of like people are just going to lose and Saquon's going to come back and my season's going to be saved. And he was willing to pull the trigger. Steve was not willing to pull the trigger, still giving people the answer. He thinks Dalvin Cook's going to win on games all year and quote-unquote now wants a Foster Tom level deal for Dalvin
Which,
Cook.
watch the previous episode if you want to know that. That was a barn burner, that trade.
So
I can confirm that.
I believe you and I both said the same thing. Like we'd just rather have Dalvin Cook not on a
make
playoff
playoffs,
team,
yeah.
and we'll just
Well,
someone we don't have to play.
If you look at Steve though, going to him, I mean, he's got a little spark of hope now, right? That's the
No.
equivalent of kicking out on 2. No,
No.
130 points.
Another
big
quote,
win.
Another quote from Steve. Not that I want to bash. Well, yes, I do because of last week, but. He now has one of the better running back cores in the league because he has Alex Collins, who's probably not playing this week, by the way. Leonard Fournette, that is always one fumble away from not playing.
He did scoop DJ Dallas. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, it's the wrong running back.
Rashad Penny?
Yes.
Stinks.
So, one thing also, go to minute 28:02 of the last video if you want to see me correctly call the what's his name? Williams. Darrell Williams will be a better fantasy player than Clyde Edwards-Helaire when Clyde's out.
I was on the receiving end of that.
Yeah. Also, Rashad Penny will lead the running back group in Seattle this week.
See if he's 2 for 2.
It doesn't make sense for him not to. The weather's bad this week. It's going to be a low-scoring game, and he's a first-round talent coming off of the IR.
What's wrong? Yeah, but he's always on the IR. That's the problem.
But they held him another week. He could have played last week. They held him to be completely ready this week, which tells me he's actually, maybe not 100%, but he's as healthy as Penny has been in a while. And when you draft a running back in the first round, you play him.
You're supposed to.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, he's what, in his 4th year? Is it 3rd or 4th year?
He's been injured a lot. He's not.
And is Alex Collins hurt?
Dude, listen, we were 8 years early on Cordell Patterson.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe it took.
Yeah,
maybe
but
takes 4 years.
it took 6 other teams too
Yeah,
for them to figure that guy out.
Alex Collins, they're a Monday night game, but Alex Collins
I don't know if
hasn't practiced all week, right?
I did not practice today or yesterday.
Have you seen the Newton rumors to Seattle?
Seattle, I have, yeah.
No. That'd be interesting.
I think someone said they were looking into him, but it's false.
Gino did not look
No.
too well. Like it's almost like that. He looked great against the Rams. He came out firing.
Yeah.
That's just you didn't prep for the backup quarterback.
Yeah,
you know what
probably.
I mean? Like, you weren't ready.
The adrenaline, like
you weren't ready for that.
They were also down that game, right? So I think they're probably just playing prevent.
Yeah.
And, I had one other thing to say about that. Alex Collins.
Rashad Penny, yeah.
But I will say, I think he's going to lead just to clarify, I don't think you should start Rashad Penny this week. I don't think you should. If Alex Collins is out,
you have him, so
we're just talking about this backfield.
Yes.
In particular.
They're playing New Orleans on Monday night. I don't want to play. I mean, New Orleans is a great running defense. Weather's bad, and it's Monday night. So, for all I know, Rashad Penny could be activated and not play, and you're stuck Monday night scrambling for someone.
Do you want to talk about any of that game at all? I mean,
Which one?
The Seattle game. I mean, we can, because there's a lot of guys in Seattle. Do you only play DK? Do you play Lockett? Do you play Lockett?
Well, that was going to be my question. Would you have taken Lockett?
No. I have Lockett in a Yahoo league, and I'm actually starting AJ Green over him this week.
AJ Green's actually been pretty consistent.
I think Lockett. If I had the rankings split out, he'd be outside of a wide receiver 3 for me this week. Like I said, weather's going to be really bad in Seattle, and it's Geno Smith.
I saw that Derrick Henry didn't practice on Thursday news. I was like, oh.
Did he not practice?
No, he did not. But it was a rest day on a Thursday.
The guy carries the ball 35 times a week.
I would rest him all week.
They got me. Yeah, dude, you don't need.
Yeah, but to answer your question, I'm only playing DK from Seattle. I'd probably be okay playing both of the defenses, I guess. And from New Orleans side, I'm probably only happy playing Kamara. That's it.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, the Seattle offense is obviously, like we were just talking about, depleted. DK's, I guess, must start. Right?
Yeah.
Must start.
Lockett,
like Joe said, Lockett. He has AJ Green starting over Lockett. Obviously, you're staying away from the quarterback. I don't think you want to touch either defenses. And then if Kamara, that's about it. Yeah. Callaway was spent. We'll get into the fab, but he's been hit or miss. You know what I mean? He's kind of touchdown dependent. So
yeah, it's a shame. Would have been a great Seattle, New Orleans Monday night. Sounds like a great game, but probably gonna be an ugly one.
I'll be watching.
We all will. We all will.
Going on.
But yeah, like you said, Callaway, big fab spend. We can jump right into the fab.
Yeah,
let's kick it off with receiver too, because a receiver did lead the charge. It's actually a guy I was thinking about picking up last week. for $0 when he was just out there, and I didn't. Kind of glad I didn't.
I dropped.
Yeah, Tom picked up Landry for $16.
$16.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a big spend. He needed a wide receiver this week. Tom actually.
I believe someone else also put in a bid. I think
Tom
it was Brock.
texted me about a wide receiver, and my immediate response was, "You're that desperate for a wide receiver that you're texting me." So you could tell what type of shape he was in.
Well,
so,
that's what happens when you have two receivers on the same team and they have the same bye.
So naturally, I asked for his best receiver. But yeah, it was $16 is a little much for Landry. I think I didn't check the report, but I'm assuming he could have got him a little bit cheaper.
I believe
started him last night. Didn't really do
No,
too hot. Started well. But
5 receptions for like 37 yards.
Yeah.
Also limped off the field in the fourth quarter, holding his left knee.
That looked like a really bad injury. I don't know if you saw exactly what happened, but his knee went into the ground more or less.
His left one too. He had a right knee injury. Now it's his left.
And
so
he got up and he looked
that's
terrible.
another offense. Baker's out. Both the starting running backs are. Are you starting anybody other than Dearness Johnson?
Say, do you want to dive into
the
that
superhero?
Whoever is playing at running back position that day, I will start on Cleveland. Yeah. They're honestly Chicago, just a better Chicago. They're a Chicago with a better offensive line. They run the ball.
Kevin Stefanski's a great coach, and Matt Nagy is a bad one.
Yeah, they run the ball a lot. I don't like. Yeah, you see Odell. I mean, he's
did even less than Landry.
Yeah, Odell's not a start. You can't
he's
really.
Done. He's done.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't.
This could be a bias because I'm a big Odell fan. I think he's a really good receiver. I think he's done in Cleveland. I think he needs a.
Well, they want him. They want him traded.
His body's done. People break down. You know what I mean? He's only a human being. So
his shoulder and he hit that turf on the one dive and drop.
The Iron Man, guys like Frank Gore.
So it was the same thing we were talking about Julio before the season. My thing with Julio was I know he's Julio Jones, but he's just a human being. Eventually his body breaks down, and I think he's at that point where his body is just broken down, and there's nothing. Your talent can't overcome that, dude. Once that happens, once the wheels start falling off, that's it. No matter who you are.
Yeah.
Might have to give that man my hamstring for playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I agree.
Next receiver off the board was Marquez Callaway.
$12.
It's a weird week. A lot of receivers on bye, but
and that was to
the Brock football team. I don't know what to think about Callaway. He seems to catch a deep ball every game, salvages his week, but I don't want to play him. It is a crazy bye week, so.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Plug it in.
We talk about this every week, especially early on when there was no buys, and it's I wouldn't pick this guy up, but he's a hit or miss, and if you're in a position Tom Brock this week, it's a little much. But
I still think Callaway's got a little bit of that shine from the preseason. What was that game against the Lions where he went absolutely berserk?
11 catches, 2 touchdowns.
I feel like it's the third offense in a row we're talking about. But the problem is Jameis Winston just doesn't throw the ball a lot.
No.
They don't throw it a lot.
What is it, 200 yards they're averaging through the air? He's not.
Kamara had the highest rushing attempts in his career last week. I think no other running back touched the ball, so it was literally just hand the ball to Kamara show and let the defense play. So we'll see how it works out. I mean, Seattle's defense is struggling. You never know. He catches a ball over the top, gets a touchdown. It's a good week.
Definitely
for
doable.
A bye week, yeah. But the best receiver pickup this week, in my opinion, is actually to you, grabbing AJ Green for $1.
Who's no longer on my team, and Alex now has him.
Yeah. So who did you drop him for?
McNichols. Jeremy McNichols
on
the news that Derrick Henry was not at practice, which
should know better than Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry could not practice every day of the week.
That's the thing, though. You look at that. Derrick Henry misses time, and you got his chief backup. That's gold. That's gold. I mean, it is what it is. But it's nice that my brothers, I don't know if you guys noticed, Alex made several moves.
Oh, Friday,
he woke up. He woke up.
Good for him.
So.
Yeah, I'm not impressed still.
I've not been having
Gus Edwards
good waiver decisions, I think.
$12 on Matt Ryan. That was which correlates into the trade, which was again the guy was in a really weird position, but you picked up the quarterback and then got rid of the receiver.
Well, I guess he would have picked up the quarterback before the trade went through.
He did. Yeah.
So. Yep. Maybe he wasn't thinking at the time. He was just
Trade didn't go through until mid through the Thursday night game.
Get in his position when a trade pops up. It doesn't really matter at this point who it is and what you're losing, but that was interesting to me that he picked him up and then immediately traded his
stack away.
Yeah.
Number 1 target.
Well, I mean, Ridley's was the only thing. Jose Ridley still has the value. That's not hurt, right?
Yes.
I mean, Barkley hurt.
He had Zach Moss on bye, and I think that's Like I mean, Zach Moss for
Low-key
Is Tony Jones Jr. still sitting on his bench?
no, like that wasn't a shot at all. Like for me, like I wouldn't want to play Zach Moss over like Zeke or Mixon or maybe even like Elijah Mitchell, but Zach. Well, oh no, that's not a shot. Like I think he because he gets a full workload. But Zach Moss for the position Jose's in with his running backs being hurt, like that's a guy who he's going to have to play moving forward. So.
Well, no, yeah. My only question was like players of value to other teams, not.
I think Zach Moss could be a value to many teams.
Yeah. I guess he'd be a good flex.
With the trade
I mean,
we were
as long as he
talking
gets
about,
the touchdown.
Talking about Damian Harris, that was a very good supplement for me getting Moss back. It's like, okay, I'm basically getting Damian Harris back. You know what I mean? Like they're ranked around the same. They basically get the same amount of touches every game.
Alex may have been interested. I heard he wants to get all of the Buffalo Bills on his team. So.
I was like, Alex is fielding trade offers since when?
You know, he don't answer trade
offers. I'm sorry. No more Alex slander on this show. He actually responded to me. I did text him about trade. We didn't get anywhere, but he did respond to me. So baby steps, we're getting there.
No, I never get an answer. I don't even get it.
That's not. Yeah.
I get absolutely nothing.
I thought I was blocked for the longest.
I'm his brother. He doesn't even answer me.
Let's get through.
That's an enigma.
The CJ Uzomah picked up by Foster for $10.
Yeah, that's
ride the waves.
Sitting on the bench.
Yeah,
didn't start him.
Started in Njoku.
Yep, we didn't do shit last night.
Which I appreciate.
And I offered.
Thanks, David. Still looking out for me.
And he told me I already picked up a tight end. And I said, okay.
$10 is a lot for Uzomah.
I don't know. I wonder too if Foster's still getting it. Like this might be his first year using Fab, too. So he's kind of feeling out. Because last year we had a few pickups like that where it was like, oh, it's feeling out.
Well, I think this year we still have it.
Yeah. Like defense
people wildly overspending.
I'm part of this, but defense has been going a little high. Like I've been spending between $7 and $9 on. I spent $11.
That $11, but I mean, like,
but it was a good pickup. They scored 14 points.
Well, not even that. Tom spent 9. So I mean,
it
wasn't crazy. It was justified. I mean, I would never do it, but
that's what they're going for. I mean, if you want it,
you have to.
I was going to say
that's why I don't have a defense.
It may sound crazy for an outside league, but you have to know your audience, and if someone's picking up a player for $9 and you really want them, well, you have to pay $10.
And I search through everyone's.
How the way the world works.
It's the same thing I do every week. I search through everyone's roster, see what their defense looks like, how much competition I'm going to have on the top defense this week, because I'm a defensive streamer. So
yeah, we had a kicker and a defense too.
Yeah.
Nick Folk went for 3, and Cleveland.
Yeah, the defense played last night.
Went for 3,
which wasn't bad. They got what 7?
No, 7 points. Like that. Yeah.
6 or 7. That's a good question.
Not bad. Yeah, I'll take 6 for my
defense. I'm okay with that every week, and I'm assuming he's still holding on to the Bills.
Yes.
That's his.
That is his.
He's hoping that they're the Patriots from 2019.
Yes, the Bills defense that lost him Monday Night Football last week. Yes, that's correct.
Any other fab?
Nah,
because I did have something I wanted to bring up that we didn't talk about for the show. I guess we're at like the midway point, right?
This week is the official midway point. Yeah.
So looking at your division.
Ours specifically, or
just the West.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there anybody you see getting into the playoffs outside of the 3 people that are in right now?
I think the only team that can definitively be is Jose.
I don't think Jose.
I mean out like declared out.
Yeah.
Jose's done.
Coming back.
Alex's team is like
they're starting to hit a little bit.
120. He's had 120 back-to-back weeks.
He's not too. I mean, he's more points than you. He has more points than Brock. He's obviously 4 games behind you, 3 games behind Brock. But
yeah, Alex can't catch Joe unless something like awful were to happen to Joe's team. But
I mean, can we agree that you are pretty much down to a 14 race?
I'll keep playing as if I'm not clinched until I'm clinched. But I do look.
If it wasn't you, like if
I do look at the division and I'm like, all right, I am 3 games up on the 4th place guy. I am 4 games up on.
Right now, it's all about locking up a playoff spot, right?
Yeah.
Like we're not the buys.
You play to get in. Yeah.
The buys like
you get into the dance, and
but
then
once you
try
get to
win,
like week 10, it's like all right, maybe the buy.
That's actually a good point. You know what? I'm going to go with. I do believe. And I don't want to say this and jinx myself, but it does feel it almost because I sense at times I'll sit down.
We're fighting for position in the West right now.
Yeah, like at times I'll sit down. I'll be like, man, like I'm just playing for a bye now.
Yeah.
Which I shouldn't be. It means 6. But
yeah, you still got to see me twice, buddy.
That's true. So
and
now
my team buys are
that'll knock you down a couple.
Done after this week.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about all right? So being in the position you're in, how do you feel about sitting on a player? Like even if you're not someone that would do that, like how do you feel about getting an IR player like Kareem Hunt right now? Like making that move.
See, I don't think. I don't think I have that luxury, being as I'm 3-3 right now, and I'm going to that. Joe probably does, being you're 5-1, right?
Correct.
So Joe does have that luxury. Or what are you 4-2?
Yeah.
So if you were to do it for someone like Kareem Hunt, I think also the time frame would come in.
I don't know if he's playing football this year.
Yeah, exactly.
I said that.
Say all things even, he comes back. So he comes
you
back
don't
in
know
5
See,
weeks. I'm just saying, all
if
things
we're
even,
using
he comes
you as
back
an
in 5
example, because you already have Michael Thomas in your IR spot. That's a
So
bench spot
my
you're
plan was
using.
literally to load up on them. Like, that's what I've been trying to do all week,
IR guys,
is to load up. Obviously, I was talking to Jose.
and then pray that you don't get an injury. See, that's
swinging
risky.
for the fences.
That's risky. But I mean,
I would say the problem is
But
our
with
division is so much like. I think
That's what I mean,
Charlie
with my
has a
division.
legitimate team in your division that could surprise as he continues. Like he caught a last week.
That. I've been saying it since.
Well, last week
the
he
draft.
put up a pretty he had a rough 4 o'clock on, but he was his stars are starting to shine if Tyreek continues to stay healthy. Like
he's just getting his running back starts wrong.
he could catch you.
I just,
Yeah.
and that's what I keep looking like. Am I in enough of a position
Yeah.
to even do that? Like, am I in a position to get rid of a Gibson and take on a Saquon, and he misses 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden I'm 4-4, and I'm a game up.
I think that really depends on what Tom does. Because
Tom already made his move.
Well, that's the thing though. Like I'm talking about how his team performs now. Like Tom has made his move. Tom's either going to crush the division, or it's going to blow up in his face. And I think then if you were to do something like that,
But if that
the
happens,
division's yours to lose.
right? And if that's the case, I don't do anything. I pretty much stand
Here's-
pat, I would think, right?
Well, one thing that just popped in my head.
I mean, this is barring
hindsight
injury,
being
yeah.
2020 on that.
So another thing I would look at, and I don't know if I have the time we're looking at here. I got to move along, but I heard you say, would you give up Gibson? I don't know if I would even rank Saquon above Gibson right
I
now.
didn't even going into.
So
the
that's
draft,
why
I
I'm like,
didn't. So even going into the draft, I didn't. But the whole thing was, all right, I'm giving this guy. I don't play this guy again. We're in different divisions. If anything happens, I would see Jose in the finals.
It's
That's
an
the only
ideal
time
trade
I would see
partner.
these.
It's an ideal trade.
Only
partner.
time I would see these players. So if I give you Gibson and Harris, I'm giving him 2 starting running backs for the week, which he desperately needed, and I'm sitting on Saquon Barkley, Kareem Hunt, and Moss would have been my replacement for Damian Harris. So basically, I was giving Gibson for Hunt.
That's what you were talking about. I
And
didn't understand
Saquon.
the Moss comment earlier.
Yeah, so that's what it was basically a 2-for-1 deal for Gibson.
And he didn't take that?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
That's a better deal than you offered me.
I thought it was a very stellar deal for the week he's
Yeah.
in.
I don't know. I think I'd have
If
to.
I was Jose, I probably would have done that given my situation.
Well, at the time,
Saquon missed practice this week and obviously probably not going to play, but
he's not playing. He's out. He's
oh,
ruled
so
out.
he's actually
Yeah,
going out.
yeah.
But it's starting to get to the point where okay, maybe he's 1 or 2 weeks away.
See,
and
now,
can I sit on 1 or 2
your only
weeks?
worry is like now is this a case of keeping up with the Joneses? You're looking over at
it's
Tom
no,
and
it
seeing.
is. No, it is. It's swinging for the fences. It's like okay, I have the roster that I have. I've been putting up points. I haven't had a big down week yet. Does Debo fall off? Someone's going to start falling off on my team. Cordell, someone's going to start coming back to life.
Yeah,
I think your biggest worry is probably Gibson Shin right now. That's probably
But
it.
like-
and honestly, he's been showing that he can play through it
But
and
do I have
manage
the
it
roster to
well.
win? Like, do I have a roster to be?
I mean, yeah,
fully healthy.
Like you've lost them twice, but you've put up. You're what, second in points by what, 10?
Are you
20?
Is this the Brad Radicke segment?
no, well, I'm just asking. You know, I always say.
Brian
You
segment.
clearly do.
I find it interesting.
You clearly do.
Because you guys know how I am. Like, as soon as somebody gets hurt, I'm the first.
Yeah,
person
you're a
to
complete
ask
jerk
about
off.
it.
But like, yeah, you do.
I'm the
you
first
do.
person to ask about it. Like, I'll give you this and this for this player because I don't mind waiting on him.
I think for your case, Gibson's shin is probably less of a worry than Saquon's ankle, if you want my opinion.
Yeah.
But
It's the fact of getting Hunt, and again, I know he's hurt. We don't even know if he's coming back, but it's the fact of being able to. All right, in 5 weeks, say he does come back, and all these players come back healthy. I have a dominant.
It's well, if you're worried about Tom specifically, which seems to be the likely scenario, like, do you have the roster to beat him? Yeah, I mean, especially like it comes down to CMC.
Or do I need more?
Like if Christian McCaffrey
Not to make this
is
whole
like
thing about
seriously
me,
hurt,
but
is if he's like if this is like a lingering thing, he comes back and like God forbid he re-injures again because that's what he did last year. He came back and he got hurt again. You know, you had him.
Yeah.
So I mean, if that happens, I think Tom, the division's wide open for you and Matt to swoop in and put up some and maybe steal that top spot from Tom.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was interested on the opinion.
Well, you said multiple. I mean, if it's just Kareem Hunt and Michael Thomas, probably yeah.
And then will it be Saquon too? I'd be rostering Saquon.
See, that's when you get a little. You're getting a little greedy.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't have any buys this week either. So
my
really,
buy, yeah, my buys.
so you're
are
gonna have
staggered.
buys coming up. You're gonna need to roster people for buys.
3 starters already went on bye in 1 week.
All right, so
I'm staggered
like
on
you still need to roster people for buys. But all right, we're gonna move on.
Yeah, get past my team. I'm sorry.
We can do a segment next week.
The Jake segment's over.
We can do a segment next week of maybe like, hey, who are some players that you're willing to move on from? What are players you want to wait on?
I wonder if that might be a thing though. We'd like break down somebody's team every week on air.
Well, you got Jake's this week, so
All right, we'll start with something.
we'll take a West team next week. We are going to no more fab pickups, right? No more.
We're
good.
No.
All right.
Dive into this week.
I'm going to dive into the power rankings really quick.
Power rankings.
Give you guys an update on the power rankings. We're going to start from 12 as we always do. At 12, we talked about his team quite a bit so far, but Jose's Hooligans, just really tough year. A lot of injuries. Not that he can't turn it around. He's starting to actually put together like this. I think this trade's going to be one of the few dominoes for him in the next coming week. The trade deadline is November 12th. So just to make everyone aware, it's coming up sooner than expected. Couple weeks now. But Jose at number 12. At number 11, I'm actually going to put Steve. I had Alex, but I'm actually going to put Steve at number 11. I think it was just I think he got his 1 week blow up, but I know he beat Jose. But again, it's 60 points for Jose.
He got caught this week with buys.
I'm gonna get a text about that, by the way.
Number 10, I am going to have Alex. Because of his last couple weeks, I think he inches past Steve. He ended up losing last week.
Was he not last week?
Alex?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. But he did lose, so if he was, then
no, too bad. Yeah.
Last week was last week. That's number 10. Number 9, I'm going to put Foster, sitting at 2 and 4. Also dealing with a couple injuries. That trade's not working out great for him either. I mean, Damian Williams, COVID list still. Just came out. I didn't know he wasn't vaccinated, so there's like more protocols you have to go through to get back, and I don't think he's going to play this week, which could give you a win. I know you guys are both.
I'm really beat up with buys. I have 4 starters on buy this week.
All right, brace yourself. At number 8, for a second week in a row, I'm going to put pants down. Yeah, shirts off, pants down. Brian.
Brian already heard it.
Brian's starting to limp for you right now.
So we have his. Brian actually gave in his roster tiers as well. They're very interesting.
What tier was I? I didn't even.
I think you were tier like 2 or 3 or something.
3.
Yeah.
You were ahead of Joe.
What was he?
2.
Brian was in tier 2.
Yeah.
My team is way better than Brian's.
It's almost like
take that up with him.
It's almost like like if you have to be like if you notice, I don't ever ask anyone if my team's good or not. I'm like, my team should be good to me. If someone has to tell me my team's good, it's probably not as good as I think it is. So
it means they're insecure.
Yes, you need to be. That's when you start thinking like, oh, all right, well, I'm having a rough season. Someone tell me my team's good. The reality is you're sitting at 2 and 4. You can score all the points you want. You need to win games to make it that next step. You're 2 and 4. Coming in at 7, I mentioned his roster as well, but Charlie, I think I have him there again this week. I think his team is going to continue to get better as the year goes on. I could be proven wrong, but he has very high upside players. And I think his running backs, he got a break with Chuba Hubbard. So
I feel like
Herbert too.
He always
Khalil Herbert
he
as
always
well,
has
yeah.
like these years, like where it's like he loses these games. Like I don't know how he lost last week.
Yeah,
honest to God,
I think Charlie's the sneaky guy to bet on getting that 3rd spot in your division.
Yeah, well, we can dive into that next week. You know what I mean? We're halfway through the season.
I believe in the kid. I'm betting on Chuck.
Yeah.
Redo our prediction.
Coming in next at 6, so the person who beat Charlie last week, I'm going to put Brock. I know he's sitting at 4 and 2.
Disrespected all year long.
I know he's sitting at 4 and 2. I just think
I picked him with a playoff team.
I do personally. I actually think he has a great shot at making the playoffs. Like obviously he's 4 and 2. The 4th place team is 2 and 4. But
how long is Clyde out for? I think that's what's
he's
really
on IR for a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
But I just think your roster is personally better, and I also believe my roster is a little bit better now as well. So I'm gonna have Brock come in at 6. At number 5, I am going to have man to my right, Mike. Tough week last week. You could have jumped pretty high in the rankings. Ended up losing to Matt for I think the 6th time now, and you beat him 0 times. So there's just you just can't get over that hump. Yeah,
sometimes
it's actually a crazy thing to follow.
And that's the thing. We don't play each other, so I gotta wait another 3 years for revenge.
Yeah. Well, if you both are on the path to make the playoffs now, so hopefully next year.
Oh,
you
Could
play.
get another
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the championship if you make it. Coming in at number 4, I am going to put. I'll put myself. I'm gonna put myself. I had myself at 3 last week. I'll check reality, Matt. I thought Matt was gonna lose last week too, to be honest.
Yeah, you jinxed me. That's what happened. That's what I'm blaming.
So-
Joe jinxed me. He used voodoo.
I gotta give credit where credit's due. I think his roster tier is worse than mine right now because he has a lot of injuries going on. But my lineup.
The band-aids he's been putting in for running back though have been perfect.
Yes.
Like I mean, Matt is
They're hitting.
Matt is finagling this
$2
very
on
well.
Darrell Williams and Dearness Johnson.
He's doing great. No,
There
he
you go.
got Johnson for free.
That's $2 total on Dearness
Oh,
Johnson
yeah.
and Darrell Williams. Yeah.
Nick Chubb on steroids last night.
Number 3, I'm going to put Matt. I think your roster is just personally better, so I'm going to have you coming in at number 2 and leader in points, but just got to show me you
I'm
get
not
over that
putting
hump
him
on. Yeah. Oh, you're not?
Nope.
Is Tom the leader?
It's like 10.
Tom took over.
He's got like 10.
Oh, wow.
After
Okay,
that
12,
second-
yeah.
I was ready to take over points and win high
Oh,
of the
he
week
got high of
last
the week.
week.
That's right.
And he beat me by high of the week by 0.4.
Yeah, whatever lineup has Derrick Henry in it gets the number 1 spot. So he is a monster of a man.
He is
I think we've been sitting there for
destroying it.
we flip flopped once, but
If,
Yeah.
Tom,
we've been
if
pretty
Tom
much
wins, who renames? How many teams rename themselves next year?
I don't know, man.
I'll say 3, at least 3.
But
there.
that
We need a couple. I know.
I think
that.
we'll see Charlie rename his team.
Brian needs a rename.
Brian will
Steve
rename
might
his.
rename
Nah,
his
Steve
team.
won't. I think.
he just
and
needs to get a new
I
owner.
think Jose might rename.
New owner.
Yeah, new owner.
Second one, he should go with Steve Lobley and
Some-
Stephen Lobley. I think that's what he had. I think he has 2 owners on his
Yeah,
team.
you should get a third one. Someone with a little bit more brass there, you know, someone who can actually make a decision for himself.
What's up, Christian?
Yeah, maybe throw Christian on there. Yeah.
There you go.
Maybe him and Brian can team up, and Steve can tell Brian how good his team is, and Brian can tell him how to make trades.
Steve can sit there and sweat the whole time.
Yeah. That's the power rankings. Congrats, Tom, on the number 1 spot again this week. Great job so far. Nothing bad. I mean, I know we usually clown Tom, but hell of a
You
season
can't
so far.
this year.
Yeah.
Dude, even like Tom normally loses like text arguments to Jake in the group chat. I think it's a 10-9 round Tom. Like Tom,
What happened?
that other day when you and him were going at it. What was it, last weekend?
I don't know about the group
Oh,
chat.
was that the CMC hurt?
That was.
Yeah, I just
you
kept
guys started
sending
having
gifts.
gift. You guys started having a gift war.
Dude, you should see our personal text.
Tom
It was like
is-
7 straight of me just sending them
Dude,
laughing.
I don't know if Tom's paying somebody or what, but Tom is
Got a
going
media
wild.
team now.
He's going crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's great.
He'll
Yeah.
come back alive.
We'll see. Yeah, Christian McCaffrey needs to come back. Cool. We can go ahead and jump into, I think, another cool segment we kicked off here. Things are progressing, though, so maybe we need to rename the Ben Simmons Loser of the Week award to, apparently, Joe has his back now, Tobias has his back, apparently he just has some mental issues or illness, maybe not illness, that's the wrong thing to say. Some,
His head hurts. Don't.
Yeah, you know what? I
He's
wanna
not,
say
he's
that.
not mentally
fragile.
prepared to come back.
I wasn't in it last week. My mental state, you know,
Ah,
I wasn't there.
We'll take
you
the
know.
L off the board then. You're okay.
Thank you.
You need
You know, I'm not
Well,
ready
you still have
yet.
to hold the trophy.
Can
but
I have
you
this
are-
week off too?
You
like,
are
I'm
this
not,
week's
I'm not
loser of
ready.
the week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's deserved. I got nothing.
Sub 95.
I actually went into next year's schedule.
Bad week. Very bad week.
I went into next year's schedule when you played Matt, and I just
Coming
already
off
marked you down.
140.
for the
I
Simmons
had
loser of the week.
147, and I got good at 90. That's not good. It's the wrong direction.
It's called inconsistent.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. I believe this is number 2
Yeah.
on the year, right? We all got one. I think you're the first one to 2. The race to 2, as Brian would say.
Yeah, race
The
to
race
two.
to 2. Mike won.
Oh yeah.
Is this a
Yeah.
sign of things to come?
Cool. All right. Well, hope you
Cool.
yeah, hold on to it.
Should I just like take this?
Hold
out?
on to it.
Hold on and do some things with it. You know.
Just keep it.
Well, this
hopefully
week
Foster
it's
beats you
honestly
as
this
well.
week it's pretty. It's looking dicey.
Nothing would make me happier than for you to lose to Foster this week. We'll see.
It's gonna be a hell of a kid's birthday party this Sunday. I'll tell you that.
Let's go ahead and get into. We're looking at on time. Peyton, how are we doing on time? We good?
You alright?
All right.
She says we're good. She says we're good.
Well, I guess we don't even really have to go into the games, right? We already had some teams play. We
Yeah,
already got
we-
points on the board and
We
everything.
just do our preview and then pick them.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Matt, Dearness Johnson had a great night the other night.
Craziest thing is though, you're still projected to win.
By a point and a half.
You want to have? Let's have some fun. Let's build a daily fantasy lineup.
Nice, let's see.
Want to do that? Do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
All right, let's do this. I got you.
Do it
You're
live.
in your
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
your high-tech recording equipment is in use. So
Yeah,
you have
yeah,
to
yeah.
use it. Let's go here. Let's go here. All right, so quarterbacks. I know we were looking at 2 different quarterbacks. You mentioned Patrick Mahomes seems like a gimme. He's playing Tennessee, a 57.5-point over/under. I kind of want as many pieces of that game as we can get.
For the value pick, I like Matt Ryan at 7,300 going against Miami. Just to build your roster a little bit more.
There's food at your door.
Yeah, I think it's down to I'd go Mahomes, Rodgers, Hurts, Matt Ryan. In that order would be those that I want. Mahomes coming in at 8,800.
Yeah, I like. This is what makes it so hard right now. It's because we're gonna have to do this, and then we're gonna have to plug this player, and then you go, and then you go back and you're like, well, I don't have enough money, so let me re-switch this.
Is this? Oh no.
Why don't we give a play at each?
Okay.
Why don't we give a play at each position?
All right. Well, Mahomes is the play. Play Mahomes.
Play Mahomes at quarterback. Money. Henry at 11,000. Aaron Jones at 8,500.
Yeah, I've never done this. What's our budget? I have no idea.
60,000. Why don't we skip this segment?
Gotta rehearse it, you know. But yeah, obviously take Derrick Henry, right? If you're going for that 57.5 over/under, you want Mahomes, Henry.
Well, the money comes into play. So if you're taking Mahomes at 8,800, you probably have to take a little bit more value pick at running back, like Darrell Henderson's 8,000, Hubbard's 7,300 this week.
Love Henderson this week.
Yeah, well, Hubbard 7,300 going against the Giants. Mixon 7,200 going against Baltimore.
6,500 James Conner against Houston. I don't hate it.
Josh Jacobs 6,900 against the Eagles. Apparently he's fully healthy right now.
Yeah,
I can sit here all day and do this.
He looked good the other week. Yeah.
Let's talk about receivers. There's Mike Evans. We're gonna.
I love Big Mike.
I mean. Like,
I love Big Mike this week, just from a matchup perspective.
So you can take Cordero Patterson at $8,000 at running back, and then you can start him at wide receiver for $8,000. DJ Moore 7,700. I mean, there's just it's so Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley might be the play this week.
Does he still have dual designation in ESPN?
No, he's got it in FanDuel.
Patterson?
No, just running back.
Yahoo he does.
Yahoo he probably does. They're reckless.
You can play him at defense in Yahoo.
Yeah.
That's seriously. It's fucking crazy on Yahoo.
Dude, they put the one.
Yahoo's the Wild West.
There was one point I think Taysom Hill had like 4 different designations. Not even kidding.
I still lost that game last year. I can't believe it. That's the one game I lost.
Yeah, that's something we're gonna have to put together. Maybe the cameraman.
Just cut all this out.
I'll say maybe the cameraman can actually cut this.
Can you cut this and then I'll just conclude this to wrap this up? You can put that in.
Yeah, I can edit it.
Predictions real quick.
Oh, 2 predictions.
All right,
hold on, already? We'll stop.
What did you say? Brock and him?
Brock and Joe.
Right, so
for all the marbles in the West
so
right
I'll go
now.
with mine. Me and Matt.
I like you this week.
I got great matchups.
Yeah.
Even though Matt blew up with that, I do still have really good.
Maybe we should start, just for in case we ever do get additional viewers, not holding my breath, but we'll try. Global Gym Purple Cobras
Against Wisconsin
versus Wisconsin Radskins, Matt.
What we got to do is we have to make the league public, and then we can post the link to the league, and other people can see it.
We gotta get these social media accounts going.
That's a great call.
I tweet out every. I gotta tweet out the trade.
Oh,
tweet out all the time. Oh shit! I missed the one thing that happened this week.
Hey, no, I got the others, man. But Matt did have a blow up week. Can I see Matt's roster? I need to start rehearsing this too.
I think.
Bro, you gotta get folders, man. That's too many apps.
Nah, I love the sliding.
Great airtime. Play the Jeopardy music. I like Hurts against Vegas too, though. But Mahomes, kind of. What's the status of McLaurin?
He's gonna play. He practiced today.
Yeah, give me Jake just because I think Kupp is gonna have 2 touchdowns this week because Matt Stafford.
Please stop wasting them.
Matt Stafford.
You only get so many a year.
Matt Stafford is. They came out and said.
Like 20, right?
They came out and said today or yesterday that they want 400 yards against the Lions. They want to kill the Lions. The Rams, him and the Rams. They want to kill the Lions.
The only problem is
why do they want to kill him?
They wasted the best years of his life.
But they gave him Matt Ryan. They gave him Matt Stafford for.
Just to get this going, I'm going to take myself. We're going to move to the next game. We can argue about this all day.
I want to give them some points.
El Tigre Azul versus Atlantic Sanitation.
Oh yeah,
this is a hard one with projections because he doesn't have all his players in. Neither team has all their players in. I don't even think Mike could field a real roster. Gronk's out. He told me he's playing this week.
I can't believe he's still on his roster.
He is such.
I can't believe he's still on his roster.
Every year this guy screws me. Every time he's on my team.
Oh, he told you he was playing. He told me he was playing back in week 3.
4 weeks ago.
Yeah, this was the mystery tight end I'm getting. Well, you need a fucking tight end this week, dumbass.
Yeah, I'm still not going to give you Najee Harris for Devontae Freeman, Jake. That's what I'm dealing with here, guys.
I'm going to take
Give me me.
I can look back. I have
all
the
this
tight
trash
end
talk.
I'll pick another tight end off the
I'm
waiver
taking
wire.
Foster to win this week. Who are you taking?
God, I hope Foster wins. But
Who are you taking?
I'm going to
I
take
didn't give a
Mike.
fuck who you're taking.
What a stupid
B
question
block
by a stupid
Charlie.
man.
We're not even getting into this game. Joe's Gymnasium.
Jump right, hold on. So, really
30.
quickly, Jose and Steve, Jose's Hooligans and B Block's finest.
Somehow.
Yeah. At B Block, man, I'm telling you. They must have, oh, God. Hate to play fantasy on that block. But they did hit the under last week. They were under 193 points.
Call by Joe.
Good call.
Well, I mean, Jose put up like 50 points.
So,
60.
yeah.
Do not disrespect.
My bad.
But they still hit the under. So, let's do it really quickly again. Let's do it.
Foster's game?
No, I want to do an over-under on... I want to get even more granular on Steve's team this week.
All right, so now the projections are total of 213 points, we'll say. I could math a little off, maybe.
Charlie by 29 and a half. Over under 29 and a half beats.
I'll say under, but Steve scores less than 85.
Okay, so you think Charlie's going to go around like the 105-ish?
Yeah. I think Charlie has
Yeah,
a little bit.
I mean, yeah.
I think Charlie
I
has a
don't think
little
it's
bit of
29 and a half.
Yeah, I think Charlie has a little bit of a.
Alright, that was a little disrespectful. I'll take the over, though.
Yeah,
So.
just for fun.
Yeah, why not?
Steve's team sucks. So we're all taking Charlie, right?
Oh, yeah, I take Charlie every week.
Joe's Gymnasium against Shirts Off, Pants Down. They both had two positions go. Brian had his defense. It's got 7. Sutton 9.3. Tom Landry with 6. Noah Fant with 6.
I think everyone scored under projection except Cleveland's defense, right? They went so far.
What?
Yeah.
I was like, what happened with Brian's team? But
Antonio Brown's out.
yeah, okay, so he has to add a player in there. He got Shepard or Booker. I guess he could play.
Yeah, I think.
I'm going to take Brian this week. I'm taking Brian on the hope that he wins this week.
I'm actually going to take Brian as well. I think Brian's going to
I'll take Tom.
Take Tom?
Yeah. Tom, you can't pick against Tom until he loses.
If Tom beats Brian this week,
although Brian's the only guy to beat him.
Done? He was mentioning it in the chat. He said he's done if he loses this week.
Like done?
Like his season's basically over.
No.
He's 2-5.
No. Because I could not. Because if I get a loss, then he's still
2 games.
Right where he's at right now.
Fair.
You know what I mean? Like it is dependent on me.
He's done.
It is dependent on me because I would be 6-1, 5-2, 5-2.
Yeah.
And that would pretty much, I think, wrap it up for our division playoff wise.
Seems to be. It doesn't look like you guys.
Depending
are
on what
slowing
Charlie does. No, I shouldn't say that because it's dependent. Charlie would still be
Yeah,
2.
well,
I think Brian's on the outside looking in.
But to get to Brian, that might be the nail in the
big
coffin.
week for him.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, moving on to the next game. It's Western Division, man. Alexander's Greats going against Jose Hooligans. Both projected under 90 points.
Oh, God. I should have did the over-under on this one.
We can. 180?
Jesus.
Alex is he's in a position where he's flexing a tight end.
He's flexing a tight end.
Yeah.
He is. He's playing
Yeah,
God.
having Williams and
why don't you
Dak
click on
are-
his team and then look at his bench? Because I see bye.
Yeah, it's an NSYNC song.
Yeah,
Mark
I know.
Ingram, bye.
Timberlake's
And then
there
Gus
somewhere.
Edwards is still rostered in our league.
Give me Jose, and give me. They have to go over not 180, right?
No.
Yeah, they probably don't. You're right.
Jose doesn't have another running back to start
Yeah, I think Alex wins this.
right now. I mean, he literally does not have another running back.
I mean, both their teams are sorry, but I think, I'd rather have AJ Green than Allen Robinson this week. I'd rather have DeAndre Hopkins than Tyler Lockett. I'd rather have Josh Jacobs and James Conner.
I know. Wait, actually, looking at matchups, give me Alex.
Yeah,
Can I
I'm
switch?
taking Alex.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch.
I hate him,
Alex.
but yeah, I think Alex is going to
And
win.
it would be a
Alex
big win
all
for
around,
him.
yeah.
It would be a really big win.
Especially if I lose.
It depends on how the division breaks down.
Yeah, Jose's rough spot.
And then on to the game.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Brock football team, the 4-2 Brock football team, in second place in the Western Division, going against both sides of the bun. The 5-1, both sides of the bun, now still leading the Western Division.
Yep.
Close matchup, 107.5 to 102 right now.
We both have one big buy this week each. I have Zeke on buy, my first round pick. He had Herbert.
Okay.
So pretty even on buys. I'm gonna take myself.
Yeah, I figured this is pretty much down to me and him. I'm actually just looking at matchups right now.
Yeah, I think it's Joe. I think Joe will win. What's the status of Julio's health? His hammy,
He practiced yesterday and today.
Like,
He said he quoted, "I was a little hobbled up on Monday. I feel great. I plan to play Sunday."
I'd rather have Ridley than pretty much any receiver on Mike's team except maybe Godwin. And then, Corey Davis. I think all of your running back matchups are straight up better. With maybe he's got Aaron Jones, but I'd rather have.
So Joe has nobody
Mixon.
on Monday night this week, which is leaning for me to say that he's going to lose because you seem to be pulling out these Monday night games late in the week. All of a sudden, Joe comes back and wins. But I think this is going to be another close, both sides of the bun game. Seems like this is the year you're having. But I will take both sides of the bun to go to 6-1 and maybe put a stranglehold on that bye.
Could be, yeah.
Halfway through the year.
This is a big game.
This is a big week,
Sure.
obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, we can say this every week. It's a big week, but we got a lot of top two in the West. Me and Matt.
Oh, yeah, I mean, if I lose and Joe wins, like
right.
I'd have to sweep him and hope he loses out against the East or something.
I was just telling Jake, I have according to standings, I have a pretty good stretch coming up too. I think after this week I play.
Who makes the standings, Joe?
I play Alex, then Jose, I think, then Foster.
And then it starts.
Schedule. I should have said standings. That doesn't.
Yeah,
and then I go you, Mike,
Schedule.
Charlie, Mike.
Yeah, and then
It's
then it
a
kicks
tough little stretch, but
So you got to add the wins in now, right?
Yeah.
Well, that was fun. That was a good show. I had a couple new segments today.
yeah.
New name.
Shit show. Complete shit show.
What do you think of the round table?
This isn't a round table.
Yeah, that kind
The
of
squared circle.
The
Isn't
rectangular
that a wrestling
prism.
ring?
No, we got to.
Are we done? Are you saying bye or am I?
Yeah, absolutely not. No,
No, we're here all night. 24/7
That's
show.
Thanks for joining us.
Deuces.
Thanks for checking in. Yeah.
Like,
Great week.
comment, share,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
you do on social media.